The red line in January 2024, a single signature nearly ignited a naval war in the world's most dangerous shipping lane. Ethiopia, landlocked, desperate, and ambitious, just bypassed Somalia to seize a piece of the coast. The world held its breath for an explosion, but then Ankara stepped in. While the West issued statements of concern, Turkey did something different. They moved their warships, they moved their money, and they started a silent mediation that no one saw coming. Today, we're breaking down the Berbera port deal. How did Turkey become the secret referee in a game where the stakes are total regional war? Let's dive in. The flashpoint at Berbera 2020 for Ethiopia. Somaliland Memorandum of Understanding shattered the fragile peace of the Horn. To Addis Ababa, it was a sovereign necessity to secure sea access for 120 million people. To Mogadishu, it was an act of aggression, a direct violation of Somali territorial integrity. The Berbera port deal is the most dangerous trigger in the region. By potentially recognizing Somaliland's independence in exchange for a naval base, Ethiopia touched the third rail of Somali politics. The fallout was immediate, naval posturing in a regional scramble for a mediator. But who could do it? Egypt was too hostile to Ethiopia. The UAE was too invested in the port. This left a vacuum that only one power could fill: Turkey. The Ankara defense umbrella. Before Turkey could talk peace, it had to project strength. Shortly after the move, Ankara and Mogadishu signed a landmark defense and economic cooperation framework. This wasn't just diplomacy, it was a maritime shield. Turkey effectively became the guarantor of Somali waters. By deploying naval assets and battle-proven drones, Turkey drew a red line. It sent a clear signal to Addis Ababa: any unilateral naval expansion would meet a Turkish deterrent. This hard power move didn't escalate the war, it froze it. It gave Ethiopia a reason to stop and Somalia the security needed to sit at the table. Mid-rolling government. Before we look at the billions of dollars Turkey has hidden in the Ethiopian economy, I want to hear from you. Is Turkey acting as a genuine peacekeeper? Or are they building a new maritime empire? Drop a peacekeeper or empire in the comments right now. I'm reading your theories.
Before we look at the billions of dollars Turkey has hidden in the Ethiopian economy, I want to hear from you. Is Turkey acting as a genuine peacekeeper, or are they building a new maritime empire? Drop a peacekeeper or empire in the comments right now. I'm reading your theories. Turkey's real genius isn't just in its gunpowder, it's in its ledger. Turkey is a lifeline for the Ethiopian economy. From massive railway projects to industrial parks employing thousands, Turkish investment is the backbone of Ethiopia's modernization. This is economic diplomacy. In the quiet rooms of the Ankara Process, Turkish mediators remind Addis Ababa that port access shouldn't come at the cost of the Turkish partnership they already have. If Ethiopia walks away from the table, they don't just lose a port, they risk the stability of their industrial future. This interdependency is the gravity that keeps both sides from drifting into conflict. The Ankara Process is a masterclass in silent mediation. Unlike the loud public summits of the West, Turkey's approach is technical and slow. They aren't looking for a grand peace overnight. They are using a strategy of deliberate slow walking. By dragging the process into bureaucratic dialogue and technical committees, the immediate fever of war cools down. Turkish diplomats act as the ultimate bridge, balancing Arab world concerns with African Union interests. They are effectively bleeding out the momentum of a potential military clash, replacing threats with folders of technical compromises. Can this maritime protectorate last? Turkey is walking a tightrope. If they lean too hard into Somalia's defense, they lose Ethiopia. If they facilitate Ethiopia's port too much, they betray Mogadishu. The risk of overextension is real. For now, the guns are silent, but as long as the Berbera deal sits on the table, it remains a ticking geopolitical time bomb. The Berbera port deal is the first chapter of a new era of Turkish influence in Africa. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that deep-dive geopolitical content matters. We track the shifts in global power that the mainstream media misses. Subscribe and turn on notifications to stay ahead of the next flashpoint. I'm Horn Times, and I'll see you in the next analysis. Thanks for watching.